The fight continues between Haesun and the hyena. Haesun sees the hyena attacks and counterattacks. However, Haesun gets badly wounded. He turns around and heals himself while thinking that this fight won't end easily. The hyena is holding out better than expected. The monster attacks again, and Haesun complains that it is not getting tired at all. Its attacks always pierce while Haesun hasn't landed a hit yet. Haesun still keeps on fighting back as he gets used to the hyena's movements. It acts arrogant because it knows that it will win. The hyena attacks again and sends Haesun flying. Haesun feels pathetic and sees the hyena not giving its all. Haesun goes for a surprise attack, but the hyena quickly dodges. Haesun feels weak, but she remembers Kurl's words. He heals himself and the hyena attacks again. Haesun tries to hold on until the hyena gets tired. He remembers Dr. Jin telling him not to summon the Red Viper again because that is something Haesun can handle. Just then, the system notifies him that his black eye is changing. Haesun keeps holding on while the system processes things. Haesun's physical level increases and he announces his absurd new title. He uses poison steps and notices that his speed has increased. He attacks the hyena, but it is still faster. Haesun then prepares for one last move and brings out his black ether. He gets into posture and focuses his black eyes on his feet. He uses a faster poison step and the hyena can't even react. The hyena's head goes flying and Haesun wins. His clothes got ripped and he will get scolded by his sister for sure. After his victorious fight with the hyena, Haesun goes home where he gets humiliated on the streets. As he walks home, the mother and daughter he helped before recognize him and thank him. However, Haesun tries to act like a different person. At home, his sister Seonghwa beats him up like a madman, breaking his spine in the process. Haesun cries as he remembers it while being chased by a huge spider. The spider smacks him towards the wall. Haesun pulls out his head from the wall and notices something. He finds the bronze sunflower that he was desperately searching for. It changes color based on the dungeon's difficulty. Even though the bronze one has the lowest difficulty, it still fetches a lot of money. Its healing power is the same as an S-rank healer. These flowers grow in poison dungeons and near the boss room. However, the boss is one bothersome thing. If the boss dies, the flower also dies. Haesun put the boss under his control, but his skills are not strong enough. He wonders if there are other ways and the system tells him that there are. His weapon, Yaksha, changes into a non-lethal mode, White Dream, which can paralyze or make the enemy fall asleep. Haesun wonders why he just found it now, and the system tells him that he didn't ask. Haesun now sees hope and confronts the boss monster. The spider tries to attack, but Haesun easily puts it to sleep. Seeing that the boss monster is fast asleep, Haesun approaches the bronze flower. Pori comes out and Haesun tells him that he can't eat the flower, making Pori disappointed. Haesun pukes out the flower as he wonders how the others are doing. He remembers how Dr. Jin told him to earn money by looking for flowers. Kurl also mentioned that components related to healing are connected to poison and how opposites work well together. Haesun didn't understand her, but Kurl claimed that Haesun would realize it soon. Haesun comes out of the dungeon and goes to the black marker. He also tells Pori to bite down on any suspicious person. Haesun can see that the black market is a mess, and he watches a fight between a muscular man and a skinny man. People think the huge one will win, but the skinny one has better stats and skills. The black market is indeed a lawless area. Haesun finds exploration tech devices but gets shocked after seeing the price. He then tries to look for a place to sell a flower. He tries to ask Pori for help, and he hears a girl scream. He sees Pori biting a girl, and Haesun runs to stop Pori. He tries to heal the girl, but she runs away. Haesun is surprised to see someone with stealth skills. He then realizes that his bag is gone. He blinks, using poison steps. The girl gets into an alleyway and laughs at Haesun for putting the expensive flower in a plastic bag. She bumps into someone and sees an angry Haesun. He asks for the plastic bag and the girl hands it over. However, the girl asks for a deal. She then mentions a place that deals with the sunflower. She wants to split 6-4 and Haesun gets mad for being underestimated. Haesun gets her attention and threatens to kill the girl. Haesun then asks if the bitten part of her arm is itchy. Haesun mentions that Pori's poison can kill an S-rank knight. Haesun also lets out a viper to scare the girl. He scares her more and the girl cries to be spared. Haesun cancels his aura and introduces himself. The girl calls herself Baisu. Haesun asks her to be his guide, and the girl agrees. Later, Baisu introduces Haesun to a dealer named Yaksha, the strongest man in the black market. Haesun wonders why Yaksha is eating raw monster meat. He then tries to start the deal and presents the plastic bag with the sunflower. Yaksha immediately agrees. However, he wants Haesun to fight a polluted hyena. He claims that the sunflower collection is strictly managed by the hunter's associate, and he doubts that Haesun gathered it himself. Yaksha suggests that he can run, but Haesun then gets competitive and asks how much Yaksha will buy the flower. Haesun tells him to make his offer first, and Yaksha laughs out loud, claiming that Bai-su brought in someone interesting. Hae-sun rudely asks for the price again, and Bai-su gets mad. Yaksha gets mad at Bai-su for speaking, and he releases intense pressure. Hae-sun gets affected and notices that it is bloodlust. They even gave Hae-sun a go and sent Bai-su flying. Hae-sun calls Yaksha crazy but reiterates it after Yaksha offers him 60 million won. Hae-sun immediately acts kind toward Yaksha and asks if he can also call him father. Yaksha laughs as Hae-sun tries to leave while counting the money. Bai-su shouts and asks to be healed first. Hae-sun jokingly casts heal, and Bai-su is impressed by its effectiveness. He also apologizes for having lied about the poison. Bai-su realizes how stupid she is and attacks Hae-sun. Hae-sun runs away, acting cool, and leaves the area. Just then, Yaksha notices the ether left by Hae-sun. He notices how sticky and disgusting it is and remembers how he got beat up by a woman with a similar odor. He feels unpleasant remembering Karel. The next day, Seong-hwa advises Hae-sun to do well and overly prepares attire and appearance. Later, Hae-sun goes to the exam site and gets mistaken for a patient. Hae-sun gets mad after hearing people talk about him. He remembers the faces of the 2 hunter applicants. Hae-sun registers. He thinks he is better now, but it looks like he's still not after seeing the teller's reaction. He leaves while crying, and a handsome applicant appears and talks badly about Hae-sun. He is Yu Jae-won, and the tellers swoon over him. Hae-sun leaves to go home and sees a person protesting about the Glory Guild's actions in the recent incident. An officer arrives to stop her, but the woman cries out that the Glory Guild could have saved the people who died. Hae-sun listens as the officer talks to the protester. Just then, a red-haired man appears and tells the officer to put the scene to bed already. Nam Kai-tak, a hunter from the association, threatens the woman not to get near the area again. He tries to attack the woman, but Hae-sun stops his arm and asks Kai-tak what he is doing. Hae-sun asks why a person from the association is using his powers on a civilian. Kai-tak tells him to remove his ether, but Hae-sun refuses. Kai-tak lets out his ether, and the woman gets worried. Hae-sun tells her not to worry. Hae-sun then grabs Kai-tak's face and plants his head on the ground. Hae-sun claims that Kai-tak is just all talk. Kai-tak then gets mad and shouts at Hae-sun. Hae-sun starts reciting Kai-tak's title and skills, and the latter gets surprised. Hae-sun then tells him that as an association member, he should set an example to protect the public and not the guild's reputation. He calls them gangsters, and a group of people appears. Hu Gun menacingly asks Hae-sun about what he is doing. Levelless is the peak of a hunter's strength. They are not normal hunters. They don't fall, despair, or lose and use miracles instead. Hu Gunai and Maria are some of them. He commends that Hae-sun stopped a hunter from committing violence but condemns him for flaunting his power. Hae-sun calls him a scammer, and Hu Gunna gets surprised. Hae-sun apologizes for letting out his inner thoughts. He also tells them to stop them properly. He wonders if an entrant hitting an association hunter is not fine, but a hunter using his abilities on a civilian is normal. Hae-sun claims he only stopped the officer. Gani sees Maria worrying, and he apologizes to Hae-sun. He also orders Yu In-won to lead outside the civilians. Hae-sun then mentions that the woman was from a recent incident. She lost her child during the dual gate explosion, and it is unfortunate that the Glory Guild didn't respond quickly. Hae-sun then compares the Clean Association building to the bloody Gabangdong, where the incident happened. He then claims that he is also from Gabangdong and congratulates Gunning for saving a different area. Hae-sun asks why they didn't come to Gabangdong. He further asks if there is no other way. He remembers Dr. Jin reviewing the CCTVs in Gabangdong and claims that half the lives could have been saved if Glory Guild had responded. Hae-sun asks why they abandoned lives that could be saved. He asks if Gunna has a mouth to speak. Gunna calls Hae-sun young and narrow-minded and advises him to realize who Hae-sun is talking to. Hae-sun laughs and calls Gunna Korea's #1 knight, who has been crushed by Kang Hyen. Gunna lets out his ether and traps himself inside a pillar of ether. Gunna looks down on Hae-sun, and soon notices a malicious ether covering his ether. Gunna calls him crazy, and Hae-sun claims that he is confident in his skills. Hae-sun challenges Gunny to a fight. Gunna claims he will forgive Hae-sun if he apologizes. However, Hae-sun refuses and Gunna gets mad. Maria stops Gunny's attack and blows away the ethers. She knows that Gunny just wants to teach Hae-sun. However, people might misunderstand his actions. Gunna notices the crowd, and he acts like a respected senior in front of Hae-sun. He whispers that they will meet again. Maria apologizes to Hae-sun about the incident and promises apologies and compensation. Hae-sun then mentions that Gabangdong is promised to be protected by the Glory Guild. He claims that there is no point now that people are dead. Hae-sun leaves and tells them not to do business using people's lives. Maria calls him out and asks what's in Hae-sun's class. Hae-sun tells her that he applied to be a healer so he could save other people in need. Later, Gunna mentions that Hae-sun got a rough ether for a healer. Meanwhile, Hae-sun knows that he lost. However, he knows Maria will stop the fight. At that moment, Haesun felt like he was facing a huge mountain. He returns home and notices that they have a guest. He is surprised to see Bai-Su cutely greets him. Haesun then tells her to leave. Bai-Su gets kicked out and Haesun tries to close the door. Bai-Su claims they are friends and cries outside. Haesun then menacingly tells her to inform Yaksha not to approach him like this again. Seonghwa calls Haesun and throws an uppercut. Haesun flies outside and Seonghwa scolds him. Bai-Su cries and runs towards Seonghwa. The next day, Bai-Su drives and apologizes to Haesun. She asks why he acted like that, and Haesun claims that he is just wary of Yaksha and his actions. Bai-Su claims that Yaksha just wants to become good partners with Haesun. Haesun knows that he is just being monitored. The supply of sunflowers is lessening and a person with it suddenly shows up. Bai-Su claims she hasn't been ordered to monitor anyone before. She was just an adopted daughter from the streets, and now she thinks she is special enough to be chosen. She then asks where the car she is driving came from. The original owner is a drug addict. Poison poppies are a popular addictive drug that doesn't have harmful side effects. The car owner was not able to pay Yaksha in time, and Yaksha fed his body to the dogs. Anyone who goes against Yaksha dies at his hands. Bai-Su once tried to rebel against him, but nothing happened. He could have killed Haesun before, and being alive now means Yaksha likes him. They arrive somewhere and Bai-Su claims that the poison dungeon is expected to have a silver sunflower. Bai-Su wishes him luck, but Haesun claims that he is the king in this place. Inside the dungeon, Bai-Su digs through her stuff and brings out an ampoule that can lure monsters. Bai-Su suggests setting a trap first, but Haesun pours the ampoule on himself. Bai-Su gets mad and worried, but Haesun claims that he can just kill the monsters. Bai-Su then gives him a pill that can detoxify him for 3 hours. Haesun leaves, claiming that he doesn't need the pill. Later, Haesun runs as hundreds of monsters follow him. He finds a spot and stops. He activates his poison steps and slashes through the horde. He dashes again and chases the escaping monsters. He lightly wounded the monsters, who were confused, but they later died due to the poison. While slashing the monsters, he wonders if Yaksha has more modes. He is sure that he can get the answer while fighting. Time passed and Haesun was done clearing the low-level monsters. He checks his status and is surprised to see that he is getting stronger quickly. He then looks at it from afar and discovers that there is also a desert inside the dungeon. He then steps on the sand and something appears. A huge centipede appears and Haesun activates his ether. He leaps toward the centipede and activates his poison steps. Meanwhile, Bai-Su claims that Haesun is late and the duration of the pill is almost finished. She thinks that Haesun left her and played somewhere. Back to Haesun, he has a hard time breaking the centipede's exoskeleton. The centipede attacks Haesun, and he immediately dodges the attack. Haesun also realizes that it is hard to use poison steps on the unstable desert ground. However, Haesun now knows the location of the silver sunflower. The centipede attacks again, and Haesun panics. He tries to use poison steps, but the ground caves in. He falls, and the centipede sends him flying. Haesun feels that his bones were shattered in that attack. He knows that he can't win at this rate. Just then, Yaksha disassembles and reassembles itself. It turns into a pair of boots and changes to booster mode. Haesun can now stand on the sand better. The centipede attacks again, and Haesun uses poison steps. He runs around while the centipede is chasing him. He then sees something and pulls out the silver sunflower. He changes Yaksha to white dream mode and takes a stance. He imagines it to be able to pierce the centipede's exoskeleton. Yaksha changes its appearance to that of a drill-like weapon and fires it toward the centipede. The drill hits the centipede and penetrates its exoskeleton. Haesun laughs as the centipede falls to the ground. Just then, he remembers Bai-Su. It has been 7 hours and Bai-Su is already frustrated waiting for Haesun. If you guys want part 3, please let me know in the comments.